Okay, welcome to this session. We appreciate you all being here with us. We know that you have choices of many awesome places to be right now, and you're choosing to be with us. So thank you. We won't waste a moment of your time. It is my pleasure as the co-moderator. My name is Randy Golub. I am here to introduce our first speaker and my co-chair, Dr. Hyang Woon Lee, Professor of Neurology at the Ewha Women's University School of Medicine here in Seoul. And she's going to tell us a lot more about what we're about to embark on together for this next session.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. As one of the LC members, I hope you all are enjoying a wonderful time here in Korea so far. And thank you for joining us today as we explore the crucial topic of sex-gender issues in neuroimaging research, covering insights from science to society. I have nothing to disclose. Before we get started, I would like to give a shameless plug to my workplace. Many of you probably arrived at Incheon Airport and took a taxi or bus along the Han River to COEX at the center of Gangnam to attend this conference. Well, I work at Ewha Women's University and affiliated hospitals, which are located in the southwest part of Seoul, much closer to the airport site. More specifically, our university is located here. Oops. Here, and two hospitals are located here, forming a triangular shape. And there are many biomedical and biotech-related companies nearby, forming the Gangseop Magok Medical Specialized Zone, which is very similar to Silicon Valley or Boston cluster in the United States. There are also companies that have moved into our hospital and are conducting clinically oriented research together or developing a medical device directly related to patients. In front of the medical school, we have a reconstruction of the first medical clinic for women in Korea, which was established in 1887. Back in the Joseon Dynasty, Korea was a very patriarchal society where women and men couldn't sit next to each other in the same room. This made it difficult for women to get appropriate treatment from doctors who were primarily men at the time. The Bogunyogan was Ewha's attempt to reduce the health disparities in women. As a women's hospital and educational institution dedicated to women's medical education, it served as a transformative space, allowing women to take care of their health and discover themselves in a heavily male-dominated society. So here, thousands of women were provided by free medical care each year. It was the first institution to train female medical professionals, which established itself as a safe space where they navigate the patriarchal society of Joseon Dynasty. Okay, now back to the main topic. The goal of this session is to bridge the gap between scientific insights and societal implications regarding sex and gender disparities in brain function and disease. This symposium brings together experts with diverse backgrounds to discuss how these disparities impact neuroimaging research and ultimately brain health. I will address them in this order. So our first and the most important point in this topic is to acknowledge the importance of sex-gender disparities. This is not just for women activists or feminists who want to argue for the correction of gender inequality. This is often observed in patients who are not interested in these issues at all. So as a neurologist, I see patients with a variety of neurological conditions every day, especially with epilepsy and sleep disorders. Often, women with epilepsy say doctor, I didn't have seizures for a while, but I have had series of seizures over the past few days. Then I often ask, oh, by any chance, are you on your period? Then they say, oh yes, I had my period started yesterday. Then I say, yes, hormonal changes can make seizures worse, especially when progesterone drops or estrogen surges. On the other hand, men with epilepsy sometimes say, hey doc, I had a seizure last week. Then I often ask, well, did you drink that night? You must have drunken late at night and maybe skip your evening medication. Then they go, oh yes, how did you know that? Thinking that I'm a psychic, some sort of, but there are differences that are commonly observed in the clinic. So recognizing these differences is very fundamental to neuroimaging research. So that's how we are actually gathering here today. I have been involved in a Korean general population cohort big study similar to UK Biobank, so-called Korean Genome and Epidemiology Study, KOGIS. This is a study targeting middle to elderly general population in Ansan Ansong, suburban area in Seoul, which provides important information for aging research, including genetic as well as sleep, cardiopulmonary, and metabolic information, and brain functions such as cognitive performance and MRI data. One of our studies tracked the sleep patterns of over 3,000 subjects for 12 years, and as people age, their sleep efficiency gradually dropped, like you can see here, and the sleep cycle and sleep duration gradually shorten. Usually women are more vulnerable in these changes. So the red line here indicate women, and a blue line here indicate men. So the sleep efficiency generally lower in women, except one point here. There is a point when men suddenly experience a drop in sleep efficiency. And do you have any idea why it happens? So usually in Korea, 65 is the age most men retire from their work, and also here, the age of 55 is sudden drop of sleep cycles, and the point is actually coincides with the menopause age, the average age of 55 for women. So when we did mediation analysis, the aging changes in cognitive functions was mediated by these sleep pattern changes by aging. So by aging, your sleep efficiency decrease, and the decrease in sleep efficiency actually influenced the decrease in cognitive function. And also these areas were the most vulnerable changes influenced by sleep changes by aging. In another analysis, it was found that although biological factors such as sex and hormones and social factors such as retirement are involved, genetic influences are also important. And so when comparing sleep patterns and brain imaging by subtype of the clock gene is actually one of the circadian genes and regulating sleep, it was observed that certain genetic subtypes in clock gene showed more changes in sleep patterns while showing significantly more atrophic area in these brain regions, those brain regions. Right, so I'm sorry. In these areas where the clock gene-mediated sleep changes influenced most in age-related brain atrophy. Of course, these are not the only factors involved. More complex molecular level changes or many other yet to be discovered factors such as neurotransmitters or neuronal glial cell level changes. So those, those things we should, investigate and collaborate to each other in the future. So addressing sex and gender issues in neuroimaging research is vital for advancing neuroscience. And by exploring these disparities and understanding the complex mechanism and developing integrated intervention, we can make significant progress in this field. So now we have 4 excellent, exciting speakers with diverse backgrounds, and they will provide insights into this topic from various perspectives. So to start, so we have Henrietta Howard, Senior Editor of Nature Neuroscience, Dr. Jin Chen from University of Toronto, Dr. Hae-suk Lee, Director of Gender Innovation in Science and Technology in Korea, and Dr. Petro Ritter from Berlin Charité University. It's actually from various fields and also from all over the world. So to